Hey folks, Craig McHugh here from My Small Farm. Today we're going to be talking about waterers for your animals. In particular, we're going to look at two different models. One is an open waterer, the second is a nipple waterer, and both are heated four-season waterers. Okay, the first water we're going to take a look at it's an open water. This is a heated water. It's made out of polystyrene, and it is done very well for us. It has a float valve inside that controls the amount of water in the unit. It has a heater in it to keep the plumbing from freezing. It works very well. We primarily have a goat dairy here, so it has a few drawbacks. As you can see inside there, it gets very gunky very quickly. It's also right at bottom height, so if a goat just happens to be standing there, and it almost seems like there's on a daily basis somebody standing there, they have a tendency to leave a deposit in there, which means we have to come along and clean it all out and scrub it all out. Overall, a good system. As far as sanitation, I think it can be a source for bacterial infections and for your animals, and also it is a lot of maintenance, a lot of cleaning that has to be done with it. One of the advantages of this is when we have babies, it makes it very easy for them we actually have a brick that they can jump up on and drink out of this. It's very easy. They don't need a whole lot of knowledge how to drink out of the nipple water, so it's good for training babies. But overall, a good system. Has some sanitation issues, which we're always worried about, keeping things as clean and sanitary as possible. Okay, next thing we're going to talk about is a nipple water. This is a commercially available nipple water by a company called Trojan. This is our first year using it. It's actually worked really well for us. It's heated. It's stainless steel. What happens is when the goat comes up to it, or the animal comes up to it, it can be used for both goats and hogs. They simply bite down on the water and it releases the water into their mouth. Works really well. We haven't had any freezing issues with it, and it's also very sanitary. So there's no open water. The water that they're drinking is always fresh and always, not sitting around. So far, so good with this product. It's actually double-sided. You'll see we have it set up for both sides. Overall, very good product. Has some downsides. One of the problems we have, probably the biggest problems we have with it, is when the goats are drinking on it, they tend to bite on it and they tend to let a lot of the water fall out of their mouth. And so what you'll see on the ground is it gets sort of soupy and swampy. Now we have this poured on a concrete slab, but unless you keep that cleaned up, it tends to get pretty wet and mucky, and eventually you'll get bugs and you'll get things that are living in that water. It's a nice little home from them. So there's some cleanup that has to happen. The other thing we found is in the winter time, as they do that, it'll actually build up an ice sickle, a kind of a reverse icicle that tends to sit there and freeze and just make a big mess. So it does have some drawbacks in terms of water. As you can see on the ground, it's always wet near this unit. Possibly if we were going to do it again, we could put some sort of drain. But again, if you have animals there, they're going to poop in that vicinity. The drain's going to be constantly clogged. So really we let it run off into a small kind of gutter area, but it is always wet, which is a bit of a frustration.